November 24, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving. A man in a business suit walks into Portland International Airport. He buys a $20 one-way ticket to Seattle. He gives a name, Dan Cooper. He's calm, well-dressed, wearing a black suit, white shirt, black tie, and dark sunglasses. He carries a briefcase. He looks like a quiet businessman, nothing unusual, no one pays much attention. But in less than an hour, this man would commit the only unsolved hijacking in American history. He would vanish into a thunderstorm and into legend. Flight 35 was a short hop, a 30-minute flight from Portland to Seattle, operated by Northwest Orient Airlines. There were 36 passengers, 6 crew members, and one very quiet man in seat 18C. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, back when you could still smoke on planes, and watched the clouds drift by. Everything seemed normal until he caught the attention of a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. He handed her a small folded note. At first, she didn't read it. She thought he was just flirting, another lonely businessman offering his number. But then he leaned in close and said something that would change her life forever. "Yes, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." Florence opened the note. It was neatly typed, calm, almost polite. He'd said, "I have a bomb. I want you to sit beside me." She did. Cooper opened his briefcase. Inside, 8 red cylinders, wires, and a battery. It looked real, and it looked deadly. He spoke quietly, respectfully. He wasn't angry. He didn't panic. He simply gave his demands. $200,000, 0 cents, in unmarked $20, 0 cents bills. 4 parachutes, 2 main, 2 reserve, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the aircraft for a longer flight. Then he sat back, sipped his drink, and waited. The pilot radioed air traffic control. The FBI was alerted. As the plane circled Seattle for nearly 2 hours, agents scrambled to gather the cash and parachutes. Cooper remained calm the entire time. He chatted occasionally with the flight attendants. One of them, Tina Mucklow, said he was never rude or aggressive. In fact, he seemed thoughtful, even gentle. He offered to request meals for the crew. He asked if she was comfortable sitting beside him. He lit another cigarette, ordered another bourbon. There was a strange, unnerving professionalism about him, as if this was just another business trip. At 5:39 p.m., Flight 35 landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. The FBI delivered the ransom money. $200,000, 0 cents in used $20, 0 cents bills, and 4 parachutes, just as requested. Cooper then released all 36 passengers. Not a single one was harmed. But he kept the flight crew on board, and 2 flight attendants. Why 2 reserve parachutes? Why not just 1? Is clever. By asking for 4, Cooper ensured the FBI couldn't tamper with them. They feared he might force a hostage to jump with him. Once the money and parachutes were on board, Cooper issued new instructions. Fly to Mexico City. Bring the plane low, 10,000 feet. Landing gear down, cabin unpressurized, flaps partially extended. These were not random orders. This man knew aircraft. At 7:40 p.m. the plane took off again. As it flew over southwestern Washington, near Mount St. Helens, something happened. Warning light in the cockpit. The rear stairs had been lowered mid-flight. The crew felt a sudden change in cabin pressure. Then, nothing. D.B. Cooper had jumped. He leapt into total darkness, in the middle of a storm, wearing a suit and loafers, carrying a bag filled with cash. And just like that, he was gone. The plane landed safely in Reno, but the hijacker was no longer aboard. What followed was the most intense manhunt in U.S. history. Helicopters searched the dense forests of Washington. FBI agents swept through small towns, rivers, and rugged terrain. They followed every lead, every witness, every whisper. But no body was found. No parachute. No briefcase. And no D.B. Cooper. 9 years later, in 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram was digging in the sand along the Columbia River. He uncovered 3 bundles of decaying $20, 0 cents bills. They totaled $5,800.00. Serial numbers matched the ransom money. It was real. It was Cooper's cash. But where was the rest? Where was Cooper? The name Dan Cooper was a fake, a clever alias. The press misheard it and started calling him D.B. Cooper. It stuck. Over the next 5 decades, more than 800 suspects were investigated. One was Richard McCoy, a former Green Beret who hijacked a plane in a nearly identical way just months later. He was arrested and later killed trying to escape prison. Another, Robert Rackstraw, a Vietnam veteran with cryptic connections and a suspicious past. He denied involvement until his death. Still, nothing conclusive. Some believe Cooper died during the jump. The storm was brutal, the terrain unforgiving. He wasn't wearing proper gear, no helmet, no boots, just a business suit. Others think he survived, that he planned everything, that he melted back into society. Maybe he buried the money, maybe he burned it. Maybe he's still alive today, smiling at a story that became legend. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the D.B. Cooper case. They called it unsolved, cold. But to many, it's far from over. Amateur sleuths still comb through evidence. Reddit threads, books, and documentaries debate theories daily. He remains a mystery, one of the most captivating in American history. He stepped onto a plane as just another passenger, and walked off the pages of history as something else entirely. D.B. Cooper didn't just hijack a plane. He hijacked the imagination of a nation. Who was he? Where did he go? And most importantly, did he get away with it? Like, subscribe, and share if this mystery gripped you. Drop your theory in the comments. Who was D.B. Cooper?